everyone, I'm Jess. If you are new to my channel, I make lifestyle videos revolving around minimalism, rats, and just a couple other things. Today we are in my kitchen and I'm going to talk about some ways that I save space or we make use of space because this is a rather small kitchen. Actually, I will start by saying that in our last rental, our kitchen was bigger in terms of square footage, but it felt a lot smaller, and the biggest reason for that is counter space. Counter space makes a huge difference in this area. Before we were able to fit 2 tables in our old kitchen, and this one we actually don't have any tables because they just don't fit. If you don't know, we actually live in a trailer and we love it because of the rent right now. We are on Dave Ramsey's financial plan. We are on baby step 3B, saving for our house. But this is a good fit for us and we just make do with what we have. So you won't see anything pretty, no white minimalism background, not everything's the same color. It's just quirky and we're going with it. Let's start right up here because this is something new that my husband put in. It's actually a shelf. There's this random space right here because on this side on our living room there's actually an in shelf. Like the shelf is on the other side, it's not in the kitchen. So my husband installed just some wood and now it holds our coffee containers. We have 2 coffee containers. It holds our waffle maker and it holds our coffee pot, so it goes up when we're done using it. That's actually really nice. Again, not super pretty, but it works for us. I have to show you right here because this is actually the only drawer we would have in the kitchen. And when we got here, there was nothing. There's no pull-out drawer or anything. So all of our cabinets are here and there's a lot of cabinet space, but there were no drawers coming into this. Like I can't pull out silverware or utensils. So our utensils sit up here. We have a copper set and we have like a wooden and plastic set. I like having them next to the stove. I don't really like them in a drawer. Other people might like them in a drawer. At my mom's house growing up, we had a lot of utensils that were way too compact in these, and we had way too many that were shoved in a drawer. We have just what we use and need, and it works for us. Talking about up here, this isn't really a space saver, but we do have these cabinets. It's kind of a mix of things. It's not organized, and I think that's okay. So we have coffee filters and oils and vinegars. We have our smoothie containers, and we have our iced tea mix, measuring cup, and my sifting cup up there, our pancake mix, and our oil that we use for our pans. Again, it's a small space, so we have to use what works for us. Our smoothie maker is actually down here. So it's all a little separate, but it's a matter of an arm's reach. Our fridge likes to talk and it's really annoying. It's probably not an efficient fridge. I'd like to buy a new fridge, but that's not in the budget. So that's where we're at. We have one oven mitt over here thanks to my husband installing just one of those screw-in hooks. So this one we use for our oven over here. Making our way next to the stove, we have this cabinet where my husband actually installed with what was left of our shower. I don't even know what you call this stuff. It's the material that we use to renovate our bathroom. He put that wood in. We store a pot down here, and then he has this pull-out section, which is so nice. We store pans, our cutting boards, muffin tin, pizza stone, our, what do you call those? Warming racks, and a strainer down here. And it makes it so everything's not stacked on each other. You can just pull and grab what you need, and it works really well. Again, this is called How You Make a Kitchen Work for You, and not Top Minimalist Small Home Tour, because it's not beautiful. This cabinet drawer or door does not stay closed. And it's not because of this overhanging hook that we actually do like and use for our baggies. It's because it's just not well made and it's old. So we have a hook on here so that we can actually hook it closed, because otherwise it does not stay closed. I have water jugs that are kind of just all over the place in our recycle bin because we cannot drink our water at this house. We have to buy it and we've been refilling it. So those are our bottles right now. They're kind of in the way. Okay, let's talk this space. If you're a minimalist, you might not have appliances, but I love to cook, and so we have appliances. So up here's a crock pot, microwave, KitchenAid that was actually my mom and dad's growing up. Instant Pot, and our processor. And then in these drawers we have our reusable containers. So on this side I actually have my flour and popcorn. We actually decluttered some stuff, so we had that space. And then over here we have glass containers as well as plastic. The plastic ones I use for work. However, I'm remote teaching, so we haven't been using them. And then our larger ones get stored over here. This is one of my favorite things in the kitchen, and that's the knife magnet holder. I don't like knives in drawers. I guess I don't like kitchen drawers in general, which is probably good because we don't have one anyways. But these just go on so easy. They feel really safe. I didn't know if they would. They don't damage the knives. It's really nice. We have metal kebabs on here that are flat. We have a brush to clean with, our lighter, and then our other oven mitt goes right next to the toaster oven. I feel like normal people would clean their homes before showing all the stuff in the kitchen. I'm keeping it real. I'm being authentic. I have been remote teaching all day long. I did not have time to do a thorough clean of the kitchen. So we're going with where we're at right now. It's not even a kitchen tour. It's more of how we make the space work for us. The toaster oven is on this kind of caddy that my husband got, I believe, from Amazon. This is a drawer that we have that has specifically stuff that we don't use super often. So baking, what do you call these? Baking things. A scoop for rice, like a small sifter. I have my reusable coffee thingy, a rolling pin, lemon juicer, and then our manual that we actually are using right now for our toaster oven because it's newer, and it also has an air fryer setting, so we often look at those. We have our tin foil down here, our air fryer toaster oven pieces, and then this is usually where I keep my potatoes, but right now is a soil holder because I was using it for our plants. I actually really like this. It's probably not the most stable, which I think other people have commented on these kinds of caddies or whatever you want to call them on Amazon. They're not always the most stable, but it works, and it's actually pretty nice apart from that. If you have been following me for a while and you watched me sorting socks as a video, because that was a thing, these stacking containers, whatever you call them, shelves, were originally sock holders for me, and now they hold our food. So we put cereal and bread over here, and this is another thing that I believe came from my sister. She was using it in her apartment. It holds our water. Below that is our rice and a cutting board. And then over here we have chips. You'll notice that I decant a lot of our stuff. I don't like chips in bags. They tend to get stale and not used. You don't see exactly what you have. I really like these containers for our cereal and for our chips. Okay, let's talk a little bit more. I have two more of these shelves that my husband put up. Our fruit goes in this one, and then the lids to our pots and pans go in this one. And right over here on top of this beautiful china closet or china cabinet that my dad and his girlfriend gifted to us is all of our pots and pans that they also gifted to us for our wedding. This works well for us because there's nowhere else to put them. They stack in a meaningful way. So like these ones I use for sauces and pasta. Those are usually for like pancakes and sandwiches and French toast. Ground beef one pot dishes and my bacon pan. All very purposeful and meaningfully stacked. Doesn't work for everyone, doesn't work for all spaces. Is this how I want it when we have our first house? No. But does it work for us? Absolutely, and that's the most important thing right now for us. Okay, if I said that the knife holder was my favorite part of the kitchen, I absolutely 100% lied. In our old trailer, this was actually where we stored our plates and cups, and it didn't work very well. And we actually stored it in our living room because it didn't fit in the kitchen. We put the table in the kitchen. That being said, this is now my spice cabinet, which I love. Most people will show their spices and you just can't see them all. They'll be on a Lazy Susan or they'll be stacked and you'll only see the lids with labels on them. I can see all of our spices here. Up top, I keep all of our Costco or big bulk container spices. My husband and I love to cook, and we love cooking with spices, so all of these get used often. I mean, we have basil, cinnamon, onion, garlic, ginger, oregano, parsley, seafood mix, sesame seeds, taco mix, lemon pepper. I keep my honeys over here, which we use a copper shelf for that we got from TJ Maxx. Just some of our decorative or little used items, so my creamer cup and our gravy boat. I keep our herbs over here, some of the spicier spices, oils, vanilla, just all the things that we use to cook. It's so nice to have this open, come in and grab, put it over there, put it back. It works really well. I mean, you take 5 steps and you're across the kitchen. This is probably my favorite way to store spices, and it's probably the only way I will store spices now. Okay, really getting inventive with how we store things. We have dishes in here. We usually use these for our girls, for our rats, and these to melt butter for popcorn. Over on this side, we have a KitchenAid attachment that we are going to use this year for spiralizing, as well as my other attachments for the KitchenAid. The thing I really like about the china closet is it stores so much stuff. My cookbooks are over here along with candy, vases, and our to-go mugs. In this drawer we have our, they're not really utensils, I don't know what they are, like our pizza cutter, our garlic crusher, ice cream spoon, things that we don't reach for often, our cookie cutters. And down here something we use all the time, and that's our mixing bowls. My bigger set is in the washer. Something that we had a hard time storing at the other place were our pans. So casserole dishes, some pie dishes and bread dishes are all down here. We do have a portable dishwasher, and we have made a point to give it a place in the kitchen because otherwise it just sits in the middle and it takes up too much room. So this gets filled throughout the day. We attach it at night, run it, put it back in the morning and empty it and repeat. And we do that because 1, it's just so much easier for us, and 2, our sink is so shallow, and replacing a sink costs $300 to $400. Okay, you'll have to pardon that the sink is just old and worn. You can see it chipping here. Yeah, it's just really worn. It's clean, but it's really worn. And it's just shallow. You can't fit a whole lot in here. If I was to try to wash this pan, I mean, it barely fits. Over here, we love hanging up our spoons and cups for measuring. It works for us. We also hang up our scissors. And then this little beauty we got from TJ Maxx to hold our silverware that we got from Walmart. It's forks, spoons, knives. It holds our thermometer and my tea, is it diffuser or infuser? My tea thing. And then I also have popcorn over here that we're going to gift to my dad, so it's kind of just sitting there. I apologize because I know you're hearing the fridge running in the background. This is where we organize our cups and our plates and bowls. I have to say, because why do you gotta do that right now? When we were walking through this trailer, this is probably one of my favorite things about it at that time, and we were walking through a wreck of a trailer. It was dirty, disgusting, had to renovate the bathroom, but we didn't have a choice because we had to move out of our last trailer since it was on a farm, and they needed to hire a farm hand. And when they do that, they tend to, instead of give them extra money, they give them a place to live with less money. So we had to move out for that reason. But long story short, we rented this place on a whim because we needed it. And we didn't know if it was going to work and look good or not. And as you can see, it kind of turned it out pretty well. I loved that it came with hooks, and they were already perfectly separated for our mugs. So we have mason jars as cups, our fancy cups, and then a place to hold our mugs. And then over here, for our bowls and plates, again, a lot of them are in the dishwasher. We only have 4 of each kind and 2 of us. This is something we used in our freezer at our last place because the freezer was missing almost all of the attachments that it was supposed to have. It now makes it so that we can store big plates, little plates, big bowls, and it works perfectly. Okay, this is an area that just is not organized. It's kind of like our pantry. So we have snacks over here as well as dry goods and canned goods. Because of the pandemic and because we're shopping less, we've had to bulk up on some stuff more. And we usually only shop for 1 week at a time. So usually we'd have half this amount of stuff. And you can tell we don't have a lot of space in here. So it is what it is. but we've used these from Target to really help organize our snacks, and it's worked really well. Also, things get decanted if they can. I snap spaghetti in half and put it in a mason jar with a lid, and it works really well. Same with beans and other stuff in there. Same with this area, although not organized right now, most of it is decanted. Chocolate chips decanted, baking soda, I have my sugar in here, all kinds of other stuff. Again, not fancy, but we're working with what we have. Okay, this is a space that I usually forget even exists, and it is the cabinet up here. Now, usually we don't keep anything in here, but we have these cups that we don't use very often, so we put them up here. And then part of our giving is that we make meals for my husband's workers who he works with. Right now we can't do that because of coronavirus, but we do use plasticware for that and paperware for it. So that goes up here as well. It's nothing that we would use on a regular day. So one thing I forgot to add is we hang this pizza tray up here. I really don't even know what you call them. Pizza cutter, pizza board, I don't know. We hang it right here with our trash down there. That's kind of it for this space. It's pretty small. It's not in any way me saying, here's what works in our kitchen, it's going to work in yours. I guess it's more me sharing with you what our space is like and how we have learned to love it. One quick story I'll add before we go is that this kitchen was actually a really ugly red, and before that it was a really ugly green. So somewhere on here, I mean, you can see it on the outlet, but you can see just how gross of a dark maroon red it was. This place looks so dark. So in less than an hour or two, I just really sloppily painted it blue. And the reason I say that is because it was just sloppily painted this browny red color. And so in order to cover the spots that they had painted on the trim and everywhere else, you actually had to paint over it with the color that you were painting. So I chose a light blue to brighten it up. The other side is a bright yellow. The story of this trailer is that our landlord will be building a house up on the hill. They are going to knock down this trailer to create a driveway for them, and we will get where they are living if they do that within the time that we are still renting. If not, we will be moved into our own house. So it's kind of a win-win. We get to do what we want with the place. It works really well for us. I don't know, I actually really like this kitchen compared to where we were living before. There are a lot of really good small things about it. It's not the perfect, pristine, clean, pretty kitchen. There's duct tape on the floor from where the laminate split. And that was on there before we actually rented the place. It's quirky, it's fun. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below, or if you want to see more. Make sure you blah blah blah. Make sure you subscribe to catch my next video. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave that comment down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.